We don't know when COVID is going away, but we definitely need to get going again. So let's think about how we can do so in a safe way. Welcome back to the Financial Style YouTube channel. Now, if you've been listening to the radio show, you'll know that I've been talking about how you can be more prepared for reopening your business when shops start to open on the 1st of June in the UK and personal service businesses start opening on the 4th of July. But I wanted to give you a few specifics, and I've got some notes here with me to make sure I give you the right kind of information. So, if you're preparing to reopen, what general information do you need to be aware of? Well, the first is limiting the number of customers that you allow into your store. The idea is that people can maintain social distancing, and so measures that you may have seen happening at the supermarkets, for example, will be required in your business. You may want to suspend or reduce customer service during this time to ensure that social distancing guidelines can be maintained. Encourage customers wherever possible to shop on their own. We don't want to create too much traffic. And change your entry and exit points where possible, making it so that maybe people can enter through one door and exit through another, or if that's not possible, just thinking about how queues are arranged so that people can avoid contact with each other. Where possible, place barriers between customers and cashiers for the safety of customers and your staff. And regularly disinfect trolleys or baskets as much as possible, again to protect customers and staff members. Now, in certain businesses, there will be specific approaches you may need to consider taking. If you are a clothing store, you may want to consider your fitting rooms carefully and how they will work. So is there a way for you to regularly disinfect them as people come in and out? It might actually be an option to close fitting rooms to avoid constant cleaning and obviously key contamination points. Where possible, limit contact between your customers. Again, the idea is that people can shop safely, so social distancing is imperative, and this may mean limiting the number of people allowed in your store if you're a small shop. Where possible, put in pick up and drop off collection points. Where possible, put in pick up and drop off collection points where returns are necessary. If you're a cafe, you will want to ensure that cleaning is the top of the priority and that areas are cleaned and disinfected regularly, including the equipment that is being used to serve customers. However, do note that seating areas will need to remain closed for the foreseeable future. For restaurants and takeaway services, it should be noted that only delivery and takeaway is currently allowed or will be allowed. You will not be able to open your sit-in eating areas for the foreseeable future. Similarly to cafes, you want to ensure that vigorous cleaning regimes are kept in place where equipment is being used, and again, staff are given workstations where possible that allows for appropriate social distancing and protection. So you may require PPE in this instance to ensure hair, face and other areas of the body are protected in terms of the preparation of food as well as the delivery of food. In offices, office staff are now expected to be seated at least 2 meters away from each other. So if you're running an office, think about reconfiguring the office. Now, if it's not possible to place people 2 meters apart, it may be that what you want to consider is face-to-face contact. How can that be reduced? So is it possible to put people working side by side or maybe back to back rather than face to face? Again, cleaning will be a priority in office environments and a more rigorous cleaning regime will be expected to be put in place. For meetings, try to make them remote wherever possible, and again in meeting room environments, keep people socially distanced, seating apart. And for break areas and lunch times, try to stagger breaks and lunches to avoid contact between individuals. There's also some suggestion that in office environments and or environments where team working is necessary, that those teams are limited to whom they're working with. So maybe you group teams by shift or by skill patterns, so what they're able to do is to work in a tight-knit team rather than coming into contact with lots of different people in the business. And finally, in all businesses, try to consider ventilation. Wherever possible, you want to keep windows and doors open. You want to ensure appropriate ventilation and that, again, the air is allowed to be circulated in a particular space and people are allowed to step out of those spaces as and when they need to. The reality is that at this point, we don't know when COVID is going away, but we definitely need to get going again. So let's think about how we can do so in a safe way. Stay tuned to The Financial Style. I'll be back to make sure your money makes sense very soon.